For the past 3 years, my husband and I have had an annual tradition of getting books for each other for Christmas. We go to the bookstore and we choose a book based on either good things we've heard about a specific book, or we pick one off the shelf that just looks really nice. In lieu of Christmas coming up and excited for this tradition, I decided I wanted to take this time and talk to you about the books that I've read over this past year. What's up? Like I explained in the intro, I'm going to be going through the books that I read this year. So, without further ado, let's get started. So the first on my list is actually 6 small novellas. I found these at a local used bookstore, and it's a collection of her first series that she ever wrote, which is Colleen Coble, and it's called Journey of the Heart. So it's set in Indiana in the time of the Civil War. Our main character thinks that her husband is dead, and she's getting ready to marry this other man, but then her supposedly dead husband comes back, and the guy that she was supposed to marry is not happy about that, and they head out west, and there are a lot of shenanigans and things that ensue, and it continues on the story. So the first 3 books are about one girl, and then we head into the second half, and then it's focuses on a different girl, with our main girl from the first 3 books still being there, but her story is settled. So it's very fun to read. I think Colleen Coble is a very good master of both romance and mystery, so I really enjoyed finding these in a very kind of odd way, but again, I got it from a used bookstore and I thought it was just really fun. I wanted to mention that I haven't read a lot of books this year. I have always been a fan of reading, and as I continue to grow older, I continue to fall more and more in love with reading. And so this year I've read a lot of books, which I feel very accomplished about, but I know that I want to read more, and I'm probably going to set a goal for myself in 2022. I just wanted to share this with you all, and just to know that there's no pressure in how many books you read. I am a very distracted person when it comes to activities and how I spend my downtime. As you know, probably even from this channel, if you've seen any of my other videos, I'm interested in a lot of things. A lot of art, mainly a lot of art. I'm also really interested in TV shows and anime and comic books and all that. So there's not enough time in the day to do all of the things that I love, and then there are things that I want to try, like embroidery and just different mediums of art. So I get distracted very easily by different activities, but I always come back to reading as a staple activity. So I definitely want to read more in the new year. In no way compared to a lot of other booktubers and people who really love reading. This is a very small list. The next book that I read was actually a short story within a book. It was Agatha Christie's 3 Blind Mice, and I will read the back because that's a good indication of what it is. A blinding snowstorm was not an auspicious beginning, but Molly and Giles Davis were determined to make a go of their new guest house. How could they know that among their first guests at snowbound Monkswell Manor was a murderer, a fiend who had already killed one blind mouse and was now waiting to pounce on numbers 2 and 3. And so we all know Agatha Christie. She's a great murder mystery writer, and I wanted to get more Agatha Christie books because I have And Then There Were None, Murder on the Orient Express, the main novels that she's really known for, but I wanted more short stories from her, so I also got this from a used bookstore. Another book that I got from a used bookstore was by Danielle Steele, Matters of the Heart. I have never read Danielle Steele. I knew that she's one of those authors that you kind of just see her name everywhere. Kind of like a James Patterson or a Brad Thor or a Stephen King, someone who has written so many books. I definitely thought that her writing was very interesting. She does not do flowery language. She's very precise, very to the point, these are things that happened in that order. And so I was definitely kind of thrown back at first reading her style of writing, but nonetheless, it didn't not keep me engaged. So Matters of the Heart is about Hope Dunn, who is a photographer, and she meets this guy on the road named Finn O'Neill, and she thinks that it's just too good to be true. And she starts realizing that Finn, who supposedly holds an estate in Ireland, and he's like this well-renowned author and all of these things, she starts to see the lies that are unraveling, and it's very much a woman who meets a sociopath and what happens and how can she escape him. Another novel that I have read this year, that second round of reading through, Harry Potter, Book 4, Goblet of Fire. This is probably my favorite Harry Potter book, and I'm reading through the Harry Potter series with my husband, and by reading through, I mean I am reading these books out loud to him because that's the only way I'm getting him to take in Harry Potter as a book. He's seen the movies, but I was like, the books are so much better, and anyway, I love Goblet of Fire so much. It's like my favorite Harry Potter book, so it's been really fun to read it out loud to him, and obviously we're going very slowly because reading this out loud takes a very long time. I know that bringing up Harry Potter and the author of Harry Potter is controversial to some people, so we don't talk about that. But speaking of controversial authors, I actually do have two other books that I want to just say factually I did read them, which are 7 Blades in Black and 10 Arrows of Iron by Sam Sykes. I know that he is a controversial author in the book world, and I am not a person who usually keeps up with controversies or knowing like the drama or things about authors or people in general. I don't like watching the news. I'm a very empathetic person, so I usually stay away from very tense things, and obviously you cannot hide from the internet, and you can't hide things on the internet, and so regardless to say, I did not know the allegations and the things that are behind Sam Sykes before reading these books. I'm also a type of person who doesn't want to talk about controversial things. I'm not a news channel. I'm not a here's what's happening kind of channel. I just want to be a happy, nerdy, fun channel, but sometimes you can't avoid controversy, so I just wanted to let you guys know that I don't have the authority to promote or to vilify this person. I don't know what they're behind. I just know of the things that have been talked about them. So anyway, so I just wanted to say factually that I did read these books, and I'm going to move forward talking about other books that I read. Another one-off book that I read was The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline, and I was enraptured by this cover. That's how I pick out a lot of books, and I thought it was such a neat story, a modern like murder mystery, but also set in a reservation, and kind of just learning more about the Native American culture and specifically a specific tribe's culture, and just how they deal with things in the reservation, but as well as just like dealing with a murder mystery. And it was really well written. It was really fun to read. I could not put it down. I finished it in like 3 days, I think. So it was really fun to read, and I definitely recommend it. We just have a few more books to get through, including a book that I read on Kindle, which was The Wonder by Emma Donohue. And that one was such unique laid out book. It only had 5 chapters, but it was over, I think it was over 150 pages. So it was just a really neat story, and the way that it was told, and it was a mystery and kind of dark and mysterious. So I really enjoyed reading that. A graphic novel that I read is Superman Smashes the Klan, and it's a very cool, fun graphic novel that is all about Superman in the 40s, I do believe, and Superman is dealing with the Ku Klux Klan and this neighborhood of Chinese Americans, and them being attacked and bullied by them, and how he interacts with the Ku Klux Klan and these people, as well as himself feeling like an alien, an actual alien, but then also connecting it to how Chinese Americans or any other oppressed Americans felt at the time in the 40s. So it's a really, really fun read. The artist is awesome, and I really, really enjoyed it. It felt like a genuine Superman comic. The final 3 books that I'm going to be talking about are part of a series. It took me a good while to finish them, only because I got distracted by other books. I got distracted by other things. But I read Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn series. And I was not prepared. My husband is an avid fan of Brandon Sanderson, and this is my jump into the Cosmere. He definitely recommended Mistborn as the starting off point for reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson. He is a legend at character creation, development, world building, and I really, really enjoyed the Mistborn series. He does a great job of escalating the stakes in each of the books, and it doesn't feel ridiculous of where the stakes go. You grow to love all of the characters, and like I said, I was not ready for the end. I cried for honestly 10 minutes afterwards from the last book, and it was so good. And I plan to jump into The Way of Kings next for the Brandon Sanderson Cosmere, and just continuing on in my reading for 2022. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me just talking about the things that I do for fun, including reading. And I would love to know what books you guys read throughout the year. And I would also love to know, are you planning to set a goal for yourself for next year? I know on Goodreads you can list the number of books you want to read. I'm probably going to do that. It looks like I have read about 11 books. So I definitely think I want to try to go for at least 20. That's my goal. We will see. The Way of Kings and the Stormlight Archives are very thick books. But yeah, I just want to set myself to at least read this amount of books for next year. And again, it's not like a pressure of like, oh, you're not good at reading if you don't read that amount of books. It's just a fun thing and something that I want to do and challenge myself with. So anyway, thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm going to be going through the books that I read this year. I found this at a local so it is set in Wabash, India. It's a collection of her first I think that's there's like, so the next book that I read, which actually was a short, Monks, Murder on Orient. She does not do flowery, a graphic novel, a great job of escalating the things that I do when I'm off of reading. And I would love to know what books you guys read throughout the week.